Firefighters battle flames as smoke turns the sky over Hunts Point black. News 12 The Bronx has teams on the ground and in the air bringing you the very latest. A dramatic fire breaks out in a Hunts Point apartment building, choking the neighborhood with smoke. I'm Amber Marie Noggle. This is what we know so far. At least 15 firefighters and 2 civilians are injured. You saw this story first on 12. Take a look at the scene now. Firefighters worked all afternoon to bring those flames under control. Our reporters have been on the ground since just minutes after it broke out. Ray Raimondi joins us now on the phone. What's it like there, Ray?
Amber, is still a very active investigation here outside of 754 Manida Street. Of course, we know that Chopper 12 is overhead, bringing you live pictures of the scene as now the investigation begins as to exactly what caused this fire. There is still a thick smell of smoke in the air, and charred remnants are what remain of this fire, this quick-moving fire that started in a third-floor apartment at 754 Manida Street. It then quickly spread to a fourth-floor apartment and a neighboring adjacent 2-family home. We saw flames and smoke billowing in the air that could be seen from miles and miles away. Here's the latest information we know in terms of injuries. 5 firefighters were seriously injured. 2 of them were told by the fire chief were electrocuted. Those 2 firefighters were transported down to the Cornell Medical Burn Unit, and the other 3 firefighters that were injured were taken to Jacoby Medical Center. There was also 2 civilian injuries. One of the civilians was critically injured. It took over 200 firefighters from 44 different units and more than 3 hours to finally contain this fire. It was a very massive fire. Many neighbors here were in just shock and disbelief as they watched flames, orange and yellow flames, just burst through this Hunts Point block. We do know from the fire chief that the fire is still under investigation, as there are officials here from the Office of Emergency Management and the SDNY starting their investigation as to what caused this fire. We also seen representatives from the American Red Cross to provide placement to those who have unfortunately been displaced. Of course, this is still a developing story. We will have the latest information for you as soon as we get it. And that's the latest here on Manida Street. Amber, we'll send it right back to you.
All right, thank you, Ray. Our team coverage continues with Sonia Mogi. She's been on the ground speaking to victims of the fire.
Well, I've been standing here on Lafayette with dozens of residents who watched in horror as their building was engulfed in smoke and flames. That call was put in just after 2 p.m. and not only have these residents been having to deal with breathing in the smoke, which has taken over the entire Hunts Point area, but they're also very cold. Many of them were caught off guard and ran out of their apartment buildings wearing whatever clothing they happened to be in, whether it was pajamas or house slippers. Now, there happened to be a missionary group here that was handing out brown bag lunches and had boxes of clothes to donate, so many of these residents did go through these boxes trying to find any clothes to keep themselves warm, and some say they're grateful to the firefighters who helped rescue them.
I've been in my apartment for about 15 to 20 minutes till they told me we had to evacuate. So they basically saved my life.
The affected buildings did have about 40 units. 2 civilians were injured and have been taken to Jacoby Medical Center. Reporting from Hunts Point, Sonia Mogi, News 12, The Bronx.
Thank you, Sonia, and be sure to stay with News 12 for the very latest on this fire. A community remembers a mother and her baby girl tonight. Ketty Sanchez was stabbed by her baby's father, Vincent Cordero, before he set fire to their Morris Avenue apartment last week. Cops say it looks like the couple fought before the fire. A neighbor tried to save the family, but it was too late. Both Ketty and her 1-year-old baby Carrie died in the flames. Cordero died in the hospital from his burns. Now the community is mourning Ketty and Carrie. Their family is holding a memorial service tonight. Then their bodies will be flown to the Dominican Republic to be buried. Dozens of cats crammed into a 1-bedroom apartment here in the Bronx. Animal Care and Control says it's one of the worst cases they've ever seen. And tonight they're looking for the owner of the pets. News 12's Elizabeth Dahlem has this story from Morsania.
Animal control workers were still removing cats from this apartment a day after 50 of them were discovered here. Some were covered in feces. This apartment was so filthy, waste experts with suits and masks were called in. Lolly Colon lives a few doors down and knew an elderly woman lived there with her animals, but didn't know how bad it was till now.
I didn't know that she had a lot of cats in there because she don't open the door for nobody.
Now, this woman lived here on the first floor all the way down at the end of this hallway with all of her cats, but you can't get any closer to the door because the smell is just so strong, so powerful. In fact, people who live on the 10th, even 20th floor here say they could smell the stench from their apartments.
You can just automatically smell like the cat smell, the feces smells. It's just ugh.
Firefighters made the discovery when they responded to a fire here Tuesday morning. 3 cats died in the blaze, 2 suffered from smoke inhalation and had to be euthanized. Animal Care and Control took more than 30 cats to a local shelter and is trying to get in touch with their owner. But neighbors think they should be cared for by someone else.
It's just like having 100 people bottled up in one room, isolated in one room. No one, not even animals, should live like that.
The animals aren't up for adoption, but the ACNC is looking for people to help nurse them back to health. Reporting from the St. Mary houses, Elizabeth Dahlem, News 12, The Bronx.
If you're interested in helping, go to our website, news12.com, and we'll link you up to Animal Care and Control. All right, time to check tonight's forecast now. We've got nasty conditions moving in, Daryl.
Yeah, absolutely. We're taking a look at the entire eastern United States from the New England states all the way down towards the Gulf of Mexico. Showers and thunderstorms, the brighter colors representing severe weather in the parts of the southeast United States. All of this moisture makes its way up into our neck of the woods, and we're looking at a less than great weather pattern out there. We're not looking too bad out there at this time. We're going to continue to see a good bit of clouds out there, and much of the precipitation that you see not hitting the ground, but that will change as we get into the overnight hours as that rain gets its act together and moves across the borough. Take a look at what you can expect out there temperature-wise. Lower 40s, winds anywhere from, I'd say 10 to 16 miles per hour, coming in from a southeasterly direction. Again, we're going to continue to be under some wet weather. 9 o'clock temperature, 38, 36 degrees for the overnight, so not dropping off too much, but the rain will be with us and it will be heavy at times through Friday. I'll be back in a few minutes with a look at your 3-day forecast. Amber, over to you.
All right, thank you, Daryl. I'm Amber Marie Noggle. It's been weeks since we've seen snow in the Bronx, but it's the hot topic at City Hall today. We'll show you why.